These are things that I cleaned out the refrigerator a little bit this morning. The bucket, you just layer it. You start with a layer of the bran, and the bran, if you make it, it will have a slight smell of vinegar. And so when you make the bran, you need to use it right away, or you dry it, and it's good for a year. So I dried this. I didn't get a bag completely dried, and it's starting to get a little bit of mold in it. So that's one of the learnings out of the process as well.
Okay.
This has already been charged with a batch. This is like 2 weeks ago. And so I'm going to pop the lid on it. And it is layered. Oops, I tipped this over. And I have stuff that to weight it down, to press air out of it, to try and keep it as anaerobic as possible. So that's what these two things are for. And
so it's kind of like making sauerkraut or pickles. You're weighting it down to keep it all under the juice.
And as it perks, let me just empty any liquid that's in it out of here before we do this. You get what's called Bokashi tea.
So it's like worm tea.
And it,
the idea of worm tea.
And it's very concentrated, and it's acidic, so you have to be careful how you use it. So you dilute it a lot. You can mix it in your regular compost pile. And if you're in a house on a septic system, you can pour it down the drain, and it helps keep your septic line clean. I'll just say cleaner, clean. Because it's digesting all of those fats and oils and stuff like that. It's capable of doing it. So you get a tea, and on the sheet it talks about how you can use that, whether you pour it down the drain, or whether you put it in your compost pile, or whether you dilute it. And if you dilute it and use it as a spray, as a foliant, you need to be careful because it's acidic. So you want to dilute it enough. In my case, I put the Bokashi in, buried it, and then before you can plant or before you can use it, you should wait a week or a couple of weeks for it to kind of change pH. So stuff starts happening as soon as you put it in the soil. I'll bring some of my tools. I made a wood plug to help create the anaerobic process. The single-use plastic bags, there's another use for them, to help create the anaerobic environment. And this is what the layering looks like. And so you end with a layer of bran on top as well. Okay, so some of my kitchen scraps. I keep this stuff from blowing away.
In your classic Tupperware.
Everybody probably has something like this, and some bread that got moldy and has really molded in the bucket. I'm going to put some more dairy in it. I had some old buttermilk. So this will, the tea is dependent upon how liquid, how much stuff in part that's liquid that you put in the bucket, or as it breaks down, whether it generates a liquid or not. This was fat and meat scraps from making stroganoff last week. So we'll just put that in there. I didn't bring my mixing tool. So what I'm going to do is just mix this. When you make this, you don't want to do a layer of more than a couple of inches. And then we're going to just layer it with bran. And if you use fats, oils, any kind of meats and stuff like that, you want to make sure you use plenty of bran. So we do that. Then we create the anaerobic layer. So the bags are going to go back on, and you just spread them out to the edge of the bucket. Put my board on there, and I'm going to press the air out of it as much as possible. So it's probably never going to be completely anaerobic,
right,
but you just try and do that. I add a weight on top of that, so it keeps some pressure on the board on top of the plastic bags as well. And as stuff decomposes, it'll just sink. Okay.
I'll have to Google that.